My name is John Passfield. I'm going to read from my novel, Pauline Johnson, Know Who I Am. The title of this reading will be Video 1, Chapter 1, From Chiefswood to Vancouver. Here's the cover of the novel, Pauline Johnson, Know Who I Am, a novel by John Passfield. That's a photograph from 1912. She died in 1913, so a year before death, just a backyard snapshot, and it's a beautiful photo of Pauline Johnson. Here's a summary on the back of the novel. Pauline Johnson was born on the Six Nations Reserve in Ontario, Canada. Was she American, British, or Canadian? Was she Mohawk, English, or mixed? She added up her assets and liabilities and decided that the Pauline the world would see would be Pauline the performance artist, Pauline on stage. As for the real Pauline, she would keep that to herself. Here's a note on terminology, which I printed on the back of the title page. Such terms as First Nations, Aboriginal, and Indigenous were not in common usage at the time in which the events of the novel take place. To refer to her mother's people, the historical Pauline Johnson used the terms English and white. To refer to her father's people, she used the terms Indian, Mohawk, and red. While the novel is fiction, I have used Pauline Johnson's terms throughout the novel in the interest of historical accuracy. Now, in this novel, I have structured the chapters with two time frames juxtaposed, the present and the past. But rather than using two grammatical tenses, the present tense and the past tense, I presented both present and past in present tense. So, we have present as present and past as present, which means that the main character feels as if she's living both her present life and her memories in the here and now. You'll see this as I read the double story of Chapter 1. So first I'll read a couple of present as present items, then a couple of past as present, and then I'll put them together as they're printed in the novel. So, first of all, present as present. Vancouver by the sea. Vancouver by the sea. My final resting place. A little apartment in a house down by the bay. Room of my own. Silver tea service, a tea table and some chairs. Things that I haven't known since Chiefswood. Family heirlooms here and there, just enough to remind me that once I had a home. So this is how she's living at present, and she's thinking of it as present. Here's the second of the present as present items. Meeting Chief Joe Capilano. Time has run away with the years. Mutual friends bring us back together again. We renew the bond of London. I have often thought of our meeting when last I was there. A sense of peace in each other's presence. We are both quite fond of tea. We talk of his audience with the great white emperor. Did anything come of their talk? When does anything of importance actually change? Well, there's two present as present thoughts in the mind of the main character, Pauline Johnson. Here's two past as present thoughts. Chiefswood, glorious Chiefswood. Mother and father built this home on the edge of red and white, on the edge of water and land. Ancestral artifacts on the walls, a page in a drawer with our family ties. I stand on the lawn and look up the river, and then I look down. I travel on water. I am a canoe. Where will the water and I be traveling years from now? And then a second past as present moment in her thoughts. A gathering at the family table. Father looks like an English lord. Well, not exactly an English lord. Beverly, Eva, Ellen, what is each of us going to be? Will we live forever at Chiefswood here in the hill? Or will we each make our way in the world? Move to Toronto or London or Timbuktu? What does it take to go out in the world and make a splash? Mother asked me to stop my dreaming and pass the salt. Well, the past, the present, but she thinks of them at the same time. She compares them. She contrasts them. So here's how they're printed in the novel. I'm going to read in each case A present as present thought and a past as present thought. Here we go. Vancouver by the sea. Vancouver by the sea. My final resting place. A little apartment in a house down by the bay. Room of my own. Silver tea service, a tea table and some chairs. Things I haven't known since Chiefswood. Family heirlooms here and there, just enough to remind me that once I had a home. So that present as present thought recalls a past thought, but she thinks of it as if it's happening right now. Chiefswood, glorious Chiefswood. Mother and father built this home on the edge of red and white, on the edge of water and land. Ancestral artifacts on the walls, a page in a drawer with our family ties. I stand on the lawn and look up the river, and then I look down. I travel on water. I am a canoe. Where will the water and I be traveling years from now? And now a second present thought, followed by a second past as present thought. Meeting Chief Joe Capilano. Time has run away with the years. Mutual friends bring us back together again. We renew the bond of London. I have often thought of our meeting when last I was there. A sense of peace in each other's presence. We are both quite fond of tea. We talk of his audience with the great white emperor. Did anything come of their talk? When does anything of importance actually change? Well, this calls up another memory, but expressed as if it's happening right now. A gathering at the family table. Father looks like an English lord. Well, not exactly an English lord. Beverly, Eva Allen, what is each of us going to be? Will we live forever at Chiefswood here in the hill? Or will we each make our way in the world? Move to Toronto or London or Timbuktu? What does it take to go out in the world and make a splash? Mother asked me to stop my dreaming and pass the salt. Well, then we move on to the third present moment in her thoughts. Daily walks in Stanley Park, cup of tea and a cookie with friends who drop by to talk, canoeing in what I call the Lost Lagoon, listening to the sea-wash ladies as they tell tales of the sockeye run. That brings back another memory, but a memory as a present moment. The Grand flows by the house below the bluff. I paddle for hours and days, thinking of home, thinking of family, thinking of almost everything. What are my roots? What are my preferences? Who am I? And what can I be? If I could go anywhere in the world, where would I go? An observation occurs to me. Paddling down is much more easy than paddling back. And that calls up another memory, that's present moment. And then she, the main character, Pauline Johnson, moves on to a fourth combination of present and past thoughts. Present first. I'm a lily. A lily's transplanted from pot to pot. I'm a daisy. My seed has been carried by the birds from field to field. A chance at last to put down the semblance of a system of roots. Chance to return some gathered nutrients to the soil. And that present moment thought in Vancouver brings back another Chiefswood memory. Oh, I love to sit and read poetry. I bring home armloads of library books, Tennyson, Shelley, Keats, Idylls of the King, Ode to the West Wind, Ode on a Grecian Urn. The world is all around me. How to put it into words? Not England. Oh, definitely not England. Words of me, words of my family, words of these fields and flowers and trees. Words of my people, whoever they are, whoever they be. And then on to a fifth comparison of present and past moments. Present first. There is mention of ancient legends, a casual mention over tea. Oh, they're legends? I'm very, very intrigued. I visited Vancouver. I've performed here many times, but I have never heard any legends that speak of this water and this land. People tell me that the keeper of the legends is my friend, Chief Joe. Well, that calls up a past memory, but past expressed as if it's happening right now. The family dressed in black, standing in the greeting line. Father so dead. How to believe? Father dead and mother alive, leaning on my arm? Murmured sentiments, warming hugs, too stunned to do more than mumble a simple reply. Life goes on, and then it doesn't. Life comes screeching to a halt. Oh, what are Father's family going to do now? And then on to a sixth combination of present and past moments in her mind, the mind of Pauline Johnson, the main character of this novel. Present first. I didn't particularly want to retire. No, I didn't particularly want to retire. 49% of me was happy in my work. 51% of me said we'd be crazy not to let go after all these years. But there was something that tipped the balance. A thumb or two was pressing heavily down on the scale. And along with that, a past moment, but a past moment as if it's happening now. Moving day at Chiefswood. All of our furniture out on the lawn. Goodbye to the family home. A pleasant little house in Brantford. Just the three of us. Mother and Eva and I. Bev and Ellen are off on their own, helping Mother into the carriage. She can't bear to look behind. No, she never wants to see Chiefswood ever again. And then on to a seventh combination of two thoughts, present and past. The chief is not a man for chatter. He would rather let others talk. Will he share these legends with me? A person of a different culture? A person from a different place? If this land is alive with stories, I would like to know. And then a past moment, as if it's happening now. The unveiling of the statue in honor of Chief Joseph Brant. Young Canada with mighty forests, a line from her poem in italics in the novel. A special day in the city of Brantford. White clouds float hurriedly and high, another line from the poem in italics. Sitting on the platform, dignitaries in a row, many words are spoken in honor of this great man. A newspaper reporter busy writing everything down. Meet me as one common brotherhood, another line from the poem. Mr. Cockshut addresses the audience. And now I have the honor to read a very fine poem by our young Indian poetess, Miss Pauline Johnson. The land is blessed with every good, another line from the poem. I insisted that I was far too shy to read. And then the final passage, this combination of present and past moments. Yes, it is certainly cancer. Cancer as sure as sure. As sure as an arrow through the heart. A deer bounding through the forest, drops of blood on leaves and grass. Run as fast as the wind will take you. There is no denying the truth. Every drop of precious blood is dripping away. And that present moment thought brings a past moment thought. A quiet day in Brantford, to the market and then back home. A letter in the mailbox. Invited to Toronto to the Young Men's Liberal Club to read a poem. What shall I read? What shall I read? What among my poems should I read? However, there's one thing that I know. I don't want anyone to read it for me. This time, I am determined that I shall read. Well, the beginning of a career there at the end of chapter 1. Let me read a note that I have written. We all lead two lives, the outer life of events, happenings, gains and losses, and our inner lives in which we are thinking, evaluating, and deciding, and in which we ask, what happened there? What should I do about it? How did I get here? And where do I go from here? And in order to ask and answer such questions, we compare different times in our lives. We look at wedding photos on the day of our anniversary. We look at slides of a life that has been lived as we visit a funeral home. We compare and contrast in order to understand. We juxtapose images in a search for meaning. So in this novel, as I do in all my novels, I have the main character Pauline Johnson, think of two time frames at once. The present, in which the main character is dealing with the challenges of his or her present situation, and the past, in which the main character succeeded or failed in either similar situations or situations which were not the same as her present ones at all. The interaction of the two, of images commenting on images, is the process of thinking. The process by which we examine the information of our lives, in the present and in the past, and even by speculation in the projected future, is an attempt to evaluate our progress in life so far. For the main character of this novel, the juxtaposition of the first chapter of her thoughts, of her childhood at Chiefswood, and her retirement from the stage to Vancouver, leads to a 16-chapter, 50,000-word image pattern of thought. So, the novel is Pauline Johnson, Know Who I Am, a novel by John Passfield. It's on Amazon, and you can find more information there. My publisher's website is rocksmillspress.com, rocksmillspress.com. More information there. 2 books written by me for free access on my website, johnpassfield.ca, johnpassfield.ca. All you do is go to the Pauline Johnson icon for planning notebook, click on that. It's a notebook, it shows how I conceived of the idea of the novel, planned it, structured it, and wrote it. Then go to the journal icon and click on that. It shows you what I was thinking as I was polishing the 50,000-word rough draft of the novel, all about this particular novel, my novels so far, novels I might write in the future, novels in general. What is a novel and what does it do? And lastly, I'll just say thank you for watching this video.